7 is the same as 7 point, and because we got two digits, 0.00. Remember, this is the same as a whole 7. And now we're going to minus that from 2.25. And then you just do what we always do. So once again, because the top number is smaller than the bottom number, you can't subtract them. So you need to borrow from the first number that's bigger, like a 7. So borrow from the 7, that breaks down to a 6. Give the next number a 1, that becomes a 10. Borrow from 10, it becomes a 9, and give this one a 1. So now we're going to basically do 10 take away 5, which is 5. 9 take away 2 is 7. And 6 take away 2 is 4. So we've got 4.75. Alright, number 20. 0.9 divided by 100. Okay, just like the previous one, when you multiply by 100, you move the decimal place 2 places to the right. If you divide now by 100, you move it 2 places to the left. So you bring the number smaller. So if you just imagine there was an extra 0 here, this would be a point, and then you move it one more time and another 0, your number is going to look something like 0.009. So that's going to be your final result. Okay, not much to say there. By the way, guys, if you understood everything so far, please give me a like. But if you want me to explain anything in further details, just drop me a comment and I'll try my best to answer you as soon as I can. Alright, 21. 9 minus 1.9. So just like the other question, line up the whole numbers, so 9 and 1, and copy out a decimal, 0.9. And because it's missing a decimal, just stick in and put a blank, replace a blank with a 0. Now, subtracting these two, which is very straightforward, you can't do 0 take away 9, so you borrow from the next number. You borrow from the 9, and this goes down to 8. Give it the 1 you took, and then finally you got 10 take away 9 is 1, 8 take away 1 is 7. So the answer is 7.1. Alright, fractions. Finally, something different. So we have here a mixed number, because you got a whole number and a fraction, minus another fraction. Always combine the mixed part into something known as an improper. So make it into a single fraction. To do that, 1 3/7, there's a nice trick. We can use the whole number, multiply it to the bottom, so it'll be 1 times 7, and then add it to the top. So 1 times 7 plus 3, which is 10. So 10 over 7 minus 4 over 7. And now in this case, we just subtract the top halves. So 10 take away 4 is a 6, and your answer is 6 over 7. That's it. Alright guys, number 23. So we have 836 times 27. Now to do this easily, we can just go ahead and use the column method as they provide. So what we do is that we only focus on one of these digits, either 2 or 7 first. For now, we're going to focus on the 7, yeah? And we're going to multiply all of these guys by 7. So let's do it. So first things first, we're going to do 7 times 6. That should give us 42. So we put 2 here and then carry the 4. Next, we do 7 times 3, which is 21. 21 plus 4 is 25. So 5 and carry the 2. And lastly, we do 7 times 8. And that should give us 56. And you add 2 more, will be 58. Because there's no more digits, we just write 58 here. Now, after you deal with the 7, what I usually do is I always cross digits out. So I've done this now. And because we moved one place to the left, we're going to also move one place to the left here. So this will be blanked out. Now, next part. So now we're going to multiply 2 by every digit there. So we're going to do, firstly, 2 times 6, which is 12. So 2, carry the 1. Now, 2 times 3 is 6. Add 1 is 7. And finally, 2 times 6 is 16. Now, guys, all you want to do here is just add everything up. And by the way, guys, yeah, this little blank here can literally be replaced with a 0, yeah? So if you wanted to, you could just put a nice 0 there. So adding all this up, we're going to do 2 plus nothing is 2. 5 plus 2 is 7. 8 plus 7 is 15, so 5 carry the 1. Let's put 1 up here. So 1 plus 5 is 6. Add another 6 is 12. Carry the 1. And finally, 1 plus 1 is 2. That's it, guys. So your final answer is 22,572. Okay. Okay, guys, number 24. So here they want us to add up 1 over 5 plus 3 over 4. Now to do this, we need to firstly make sure that both fractions have common denominators. In other words, the bottom part has to be the same value. Now the easy trick is to basically look at the left fraction and multiply what it doesn't have from the right. Well, it doesn't have a 4, so we can just multiply all this fraction by 4. And on this side, this has a 4, so we can just multiply this fraction by 5. And we do so, they both can be over 20. Now that's good. Now, because you multiply the left fraction by 4, this means 1 times 4 is 4. And on the right side, 5 times 3 is 15. And lastly, 4 plus 15 is 19 over 20. Yep. Okay, next question. So here we got 888 divided by 37. Now we need to ask ourselves, how many times does 37 go into this number? Well, a trick is to firstly just check. So let's see how many times 37 goes into 8. Well, it can't do because it's bigger, so it's nothing. So when it doesn't go into it, you carry the next number across. So now we have 37 into 88. Well, to figure this out, we need to know our 37 times tables. So what I usually do on the side, I just keep going up in 37s, yeah? So if you keep adding 37, so if you add another 37, you should have something like 37, 67, 74. Add another 37, you're going to get, let's see, add 37 to this, you're going to have 1, carry the 1, 111. Okay, so looking at this, we can see that 37 goes into 88 twice because it goes once, twice, but it's not big in this. So 2 times, and then let's see how much we need to go from 74 to get to 88. Well, 88 take away 74 gives us 14. So it goes in, so you get a remainder of 14. Now, how many times is 37 going to 148? Well, let's add another 37 to this number, yeah? So if you add another 37, you actually get 148. So actually it goes into it 4 times perfectly and with no remainders. So therefore the answer is 24. Number 26. So now they want us to add 1 1/5 plus 2 1/10. So just like the other question, in this case we need to have common denominators. So what I usually do is just ignore the whole numbers here, yeah? So we can say straight away that 1 plus 2 is 3. Now to make both of these have common denominators, we can just look at a 5. And we can just realize that if we times the 5 part by 2, this fraction by 2 is going to be over 10. And this fraction now becomes 2 over 10. And now adding up the fractions, 2/10 and the one over here, which is 1/10, that's going to give us 3/10. And that's it, guys. This is your answer, 3 3/10. So we have to find 35% of 320. Now, super easy way to do percentages, always find 10%, because 10% literally means that you're finding the 1/10 of this value. So 1/10 of this value is going to be 320 divided by 10, and that should just be 32. Now, finding 35%, well, we could just try and find 30%. To find 30%, you can just times these values by 3. So times this by 3, you're going to get 30% equals 3 times 32 is 96. Now, that looks quite easy, doesn't it? Now, to get the extra 5%, well, going back to 10%, let's go ahead and half this number, yeah? So 5% is going to be half of 32, because 5% is half of 10, right? So half of 32 is 16. Now, lastly, to get 35%, well, just sum these up. So 96 plus 16, well, just doing it quickly on the side. 6 plus 6 is 12, so 2 carry the 1. 1 and 9 is 10, plus 1 is 11. So 35% of 320 is 112. All right, number 28. So here we got 8/9 minus 1/4. Now, just like the adding fraction, we need to make sure these have common denominators. So once again, we could just multiply this by 4 because this one's over 4. And we can multiply the second fraction by 9 because the first fraction is over 9. And doing so, this means that both fractions should be over 36 because 9 times 4 and 4 times 9 is 36. Now, dealing with the other two numbers, well, 4 times 8 should give us 32. And lastly, that's a 9, right? 9 times 1 is 9. Now, subtracting 32 and 9, doing so should give us 23 out of 36. Now, you could leave that there. So the final answer would be 23 out of 36. Done.